Hi, this is Laura Flaquette, and I'm here on Focus Forward, and I have Robert Dempsey with me. Robert is founder and CEO of Dempsey Marketing, and he is absolutely phenomenal with everything social media. So we decided to bring him on today because we have a very interesting topic we're going to talk about. Hi, Robert.
Hello, thank you for having me again, Lori.
Well, you're welcome, you're welcome. We always love having you here on Focus Forward. Okay, so I really need to talk to you about social business.
Talk to me.
Yes.
Talk to me, Lori.
Because I'm reading this article and I'm saying, social business, this is so interesting. What exactly is it? So I want to read this short piece and then we're going to launch into it because I've got to get your input on this. Okay, so here it is. This is from Fast Company, and the article's name is Move Over Social Media, Here Comes Social Business. Okay, so it's a very interesting article, and here it says, people do business with people and companies. One of the notions behind becoming a social business is that your employees should be front and center in digital activities. Since IBM no longer sells consumer products, the brand experience for IBM is an experience with an IBMer. An experience that is increasingly happening online. So the article is written by a guy named McCarthy, and I could tell you what his name is if I look through this, but anyway, he said to support this idea, IBM recently started adding IBM experts to various web pages, an action that in A/B testing dramatically improved page performance and revealed increased confidence and trust in IBM in focus groups. So when I read this, I said to myself, is this something new? Because it seems to me like Best Buy started this quite a few years ago with you can contact a geek and talk to a geek online, you know, in a social forum and ask questions and get help. I mean, and I know that we've had, you know, Apple and the Genius Bar and all that. So is this something that's really new, or am I missing the point? I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, so at the risk of offending every large corporation that might hear my answer to this, I will say no. I mean, this isn't anything new. So you and I have both been students of Dan Kennedy, and one of the examples that Dan Kennedy put up was a guy that would provide like a live chat, right, on a web page, on actually a landing page. And he found that when he had that live chat, and so anyone that landed on the page, they could talk with the guy, and, get more questions answered, etc., he increased his conversions because people still, when they landed on a sales page, had questions, etc. So the concept in of itself is not new. Now, it's been labeled by marketers, one of which is me, right? I'm a marketer, not one that comes up with these labels, but it's been labeled as quote-unquote social business. But if you think about it, I think the difference there is that they're assigning people to individual web pages to be this live chat support person versus just being able to, you know, call into Best Buy, walk into an Apple store, or generally get a live chat person on a web page. Because the live chat and live support, I mean, my bank has had it for a long time. You know, businesses have been doing that for a very long time. So I don't think the concept is anything really new or revolutionary. It's just, you know, businesses, as we know, are about 3 to 5 years behind the curve of, you know, technology and other media adoption. You know, the curve that pretty much everyone else is on. So small business already using stuff like this. But businesses now are starting to take notice and say, you know, it's okay for us to have our employees actually talk to people, right? Because for a long time, right? I know. So
what do we do all day long?
I know, right? Yeah, we talk to the people, but it's just incredible because at first it was social media, as we know it today, meaning the platforms, Twitter, Facebook, etc., came into play. Then people are like, oh my God, what do we do with our employees because they're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, they're saying God only knows what, we have to clamp down. There's still a lot of businesses that do not allow Facebook and Twitter at work, which is ridiculous because everyone has a mobile phone and then they just use it anyway, so good luck with that. You know, nice try, not so much. So that was the next step of, we need policies to govern how our employees use social media. What do they say? Right? Because it's all about controlling that brand message, branding something that you help your clients with. And now I think businesses have just realized that there's no stopping it. So let's see how we can really leverage the folks that we have internally and all of their knowledge to be more social, right? Like with our customers out there. But the idea isn't really new.
So when I
sorry,
no,
I'll just say that. Yeah.
No, it's because I'm looking at this. I'm saying I'm not really sure what I understand the novelness or the newness of this actually is. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I'm really curious about is we're doing this all the time with our clients,
right.
with the people that we relate to, because we're entrepreneurs and we pick up the phone or we answer the questions and we do these type of things. So it seems like, yes, large business is 3 to 5 years behind, and then they can contact Fast Company and they can get an article in Fast Company about something that is basically, seems to me to pretty much be a non-event. But maybe what they're talking about is releasing the brakes on their employees. I mean, maybe that's what that actually is.
So that's a great Jack Canfield reference there too, by the way. The releasing the brakes.
Releasing the brakes.
But yeah, so I think, again, while the concept itself is not new, the fact that a company as large as IBM is actually finally getting to the point of being like, it's okay for us. Not only is it okay, but we should, have our employees talking more with customers. The thing is this, and we got to keep it in context. So for small businesses, everything we do is social. Just like a corner store, right? You live and die based on the reputation that you create yourself. And so that concept is extended to all these social media platforms, to the internet itself, which is in effect social. And it's been social from the very beginning of, I can't even remember the date, but the internet's been around for a long time, right? So what's different now is that it's large companies saying, okay, we're not going to try and completely control all of the messaging coming out of this place. It's not just marketing, it's not just sales, it's not just PR. This controlling the messaging. We are going to, quote unquote, allow our employees or have our employees talking with people out, meaning customers and potential customers. So that is the shift. And that's a really interesting shift, though, that social media has brought about. And if we look at the even larger context of businesses having to just deal with the changes that social media has brought about, because people, as a consumer, you and I expect a company to talk with us, whether it's complaining about something on Twitter, interacting on a Facebook page, calling up a customer service representative. We expect that, but businesses have been really slow, larger businesses especially, have been slow to adopt that because of the, who do we have talk to these people? What can they say? We don't want to damage our brand, and what about our reputation, and blah, blah, blah. But the conversations go on regardless, and people have been telling companies this for years. It's like people are still talking about you, whether you know it or not, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, or whether they're at dinner with their friends, they're talking either good or bad about you, so you have no control. So I think it's now the final realization that, okay, we don't fully have control, so let's tap into the expertise that we have internally and really leverage that and let those folks talk directly with customers, even though they might not be a salesperson.
Okay, so in taking that into consideration, as entrepreneurs and small business owners, should we have a higher functionality on our sites that allows customers to direct questions, directly to us? And should we open up that forum more? So is there a way that we should go about doing that, or what do you think about that?
So that's a question of capacity and capability.
Okay.
Right? And so I can say with my business, I have a phone number that if you call, typically goes directly to a message, because I just don't have the capacity, in all frankness, to be answering the phone, doing a lot of client work, managing all the projects, et cetera, right? You only have so much. I don't want to say time in the day, but you can only do so much.
Yeah, there's only like 95 hours a week that you work.
Right. So, hey. So, but there's only so much that you can do during the day as an entrepreneur. Now, if you start to expand your business, though, then having someone that is hanging out as live chat on your website might work. Now, having said that, though, depending on the amount of people that actually come to your website, only a percentage of those people are actually going to engage with you on a live chat. And that's if they have a question, maybe they're further down the funnel, right? The sales funnel, they're closer to a purchase, they just have some questions. So I would say it's definitely something to test, which is always what I recommend. Just test it, find out. There's a number of applications that will help you do this. The real-time statistics app that I use, Hit Sniffer, has a built-in, hey, chat with somebody, chat with a visitor. And that's really cool because you can see what that person's been doing on your website, and then you can have a conversation with that person, which is really interesting. And then you can have a really good conversation with that person. So, try it out, and if it starts taking up too much time, it could be something that you could take off, or maybe hire like an assistant person to be hanging out at their house and answering questions. But then you still have to kind of put guidelines in place for those people too.
Okay,
so that's a long answer to your question.
Well, yeah, but it's very interesting because as I'm thinking about my last few weeks, which are pretty indicative, it's a little bit more than normal, but pretty indicative of what's going on. I mean, I seem to spend a really lot of time answering questions for clients, for people that are in my network and things like that. I know you do as well. So, because I'm asking some of those questions. Yeah. So, but I know how many questions you're fielding. So, in looking at that, would it behoove us to actually open up those questions to a forum, and then we're answering those questions on a wider basis? I mean, is it going to take less time, or is it going to,
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if it really would take less time. So the advice on that, which I've heard even a number of years ago, was take all the frequently asked questions that clients have, put them into blog posts, put them up on a frequently asked questions site, whatever. Anytime someone asks you a question, you send them off to the page. So, but I think there's only so many times you could do that where either A, the person is then trained before they ask a question, to go on to your frequently asked questions page, or they just get upset that you keep redirecting them, and why can't you just spend a minute or two answering their question? So that's really a fine line, and I think depends totally on your customers. But you could do that and create a list of commonly asked questions. If people are asking the same questions over and over and over again, definitely put that material on your website and point people to it. But sometimes you just have to pick up the phone and answer the questions, or send an email.
Yep.
Or tell them, stop asking me so many questions all the time so I can get some other work done for you.
Exactly.
Client management.
Client management, that's a whole show in itself. But so getting back to this article, what he talks about a little while later that IBM has instituted is to give people a full day off that they can go out and interact with people in the community, do things in the community, and then bring those ideas back in, I guess then, to incorporate those into the social business aspect of it. So again, I think that's almost like taking that, almost like community outreach, which is a lot of, again, what Best Buy does. I mean, they do a lot of community outreach. Target, a lot of community outreach. So again, the question is this something that hasn't been being addressed, or has it been being addressed all along and it's just being written up now?
Yeah, so, I mean, in general, when we talk about social business, right, so there's two aspects, and I think both of them were mentioned in the article. It's number one, companies realizing, okay, it's good to have our employees actually talk with potential customers and use all the knowledge that they have. It doesn't have to be a sales and marketing person. That's one aspect. Another aspect is oh, we don't have all of the answers within our company, so let's collaborate with people outside. And then it's the improving internal collaboration using social tools like Yammer within to help people internally be more productive, communicate better, et cetera. But as you said, companies have been doing community outreach and going out and finding out information from other people for a long time. I think, again, we've hit a curve, like another rise in the curve where it's, okay, we've been on this curve right here, and then the companies are, way up here, and we're way up here, and they're right here. So they finally started catching up and catching on to a lot of this stuff. Because you hear a lot about even a couple years ago, you heard a lot about crowdsourcing, which is basically, okay, let's go to a group of people and have them solve a problem. There was an app, I can't remember the specific name of it, for folding jeans. And they found that a lady who was, I think she was some kind of a teacher, was the best person out of hundreds or thousands of people that use this app at folding proteins to create jeans, which that stuff was used in fighting diseases. So again, with all of this, I think it's just that a lot of companies have been doing it. Small businesses have been doing it for a long time. And now finally, large companies are starting to adopt what a number of small businesses have been doing all the while, and then they get press for it.
Okay, so what's the future of social business? Like we're trying to...
I should have expected that question, shouldn't I? What's the future of this? Yes. Always the question. What's the future? I think we'll just see more adoption by larger companies of this. Because again, social media has now been and when I say social media, I should really specify social platforms, Twitter, Facebook, etc., have been around long enough now, and people are using them outside of work. They want to be able to do this stuff inside of work. And they're really questioning, well, why can't I go onto Twitter or Facebook? Why don't we have something like this inside so I can talk with the folks in the other building over there or in another division, right? Companies understand better, oh, it's okay that we don't have all the expertise internal to us, right? There's 7 billion people on the planet. There's probably somebody else out there that knows some more about it. We can engage with them, and we don't have to worry about losing our branding or God knows what, right? So the more companies understand this, the more it's going to be adopted. So what we're seeing really is a shift in the way that business is being done at all levels, not just with we as small businesses that have been doing this kind of stuff forever, but with the larger companies as well. And it's really coming from the inside. So it's just hopefully, more of the larger companies will be adopting these types of things.
Okay, so when we're looking at it for us, the people on the ground and in those offices that are working 24/7 practically, the concept of social business seems to me like what we would be doing is bringing more of our group, our database, bringing more of our database together and maybe mixing it up more so we become more of a resource for those people in our own database. So people are working together more cohesively, and they know each other, they develop relationships, and then they're able to even do business a little bit more effectively.
Yeah, and I would actually add on to that. So it's not just that we can become a better resource for our clients, it's that actually our clients become a better resource for us and our potential clients that are out there. So what I mean by that is, for instance, rather than trying to listen to what our clients are saying and figure out what it is they want based on what they're saying, you just ask them and you have conversations. So rather than coming up with some product based on what you believe you heard, you literally go to them and say, okay, we've been doing X, Y, and Z. Let's talk about what more you want, or what could be even better, what product or service we could come up with, or even if you don't put it in terms of what product or service would really help, take your business to the next level. And I think that requires a bit of an ego check at the door, because what it says is that, okay, I don't have all the answers. My clients are smart people. They know what they want, which is I mean, you have two schools of thinking here. Some marketers believe that people have no idea what they want until they see it, or are just given it, or they're told, right? And then there are people that believe that people do know what they want, and maybe they just can't articulate it as well because they don't have the right jargon down, whatever. I'm of the camp that I believe that people know what they want, they just can't necessarily articulate it. So you have the conversations, though, and you create the products and services that they want.
Okay,
and then you can sell to other people.
I think.
Do you have a counter argument to that?
No. I think it depends upon what you're selling. If people know what they want or they don't know what they want. I think those people that are selling things that are, and also who your market is. For instance, I think my market knows what they want. They know what they need. They know what's going to help them take their business to the next level. I think that's true with you as well. Some products, I feel like it's an impulse buy, it's a quick buy, it's a lower price product, and it's something that's an immediate feel good. And then I think in a way, those marketers are right that people don't know about it because they haven't thought about it, but it's a quick fix. We don't provide a quick fix, so I think our market, so I think it kind of depends upon the product that you're talking about. But I heard the coolest thing the other day. So what you said brings this to mind. I have a client that's putting together a Train the Trainer program. The quality of people that have come and raised their hand, stepped forward to become trainers for this company, to be involved with this company, have such highly developed backgrounds and skills from their backgrounds that the company is actually considering bringing the people in, the potential trainers, the new trainers in, and working with them to create an even more robust program. That is exactly what I got out of what you were saying. Yeah. You talk to your market, the market would be the trainers. You talk to the market, you bring them in, you discuss what it is that they could be doing and what could be happening, and you create a new, improved product from that. I think that's brilliant. I think that is brilliant.
Yeah, so I'd say bravo to them, because again, it's showing that they understand that they are like just a microcosm, right, in this greater whole, and that they don't have all the answers. They have their experience, and they have a lot of answers, but not necessarily all the answers. And that is not a value judgment. That is not a good or bad thing. That is just a reality of being one person or two or three, a small group of people within a world of billions of people that are having different experiences out there. So, no, that's fantastic.
Well, I'm really excited about this because being part of this project and actually bringing these pieces together and helping them with this product launch, I can see that now the information that these new trainers are going to bring in is going to dramatically affect the next generation of products. So the products are going to be better. They're going to be more robust. The training is going to be better. It's going to be more robust. I think that's fabulous. That's what Best Buy has actually been doing with the Omegas for such a long time, and that they've been inviting businesswomen in and asking them their opinion. Okay, what would make this environment better for you? What would make this store, these locations, more women-friendly? And it's really interesting because I've been working with them on this for about, 5 years. And I went into the new store design the other day. They just opened like 3 new stores. One was just this weekend in Oakdale. And it's a lot of the things that we have been talking about way back when.
Interesting.
The high signage, all these things. It's so much easier to shop there. The really interesting thing is it took them 5 years plus to incorporate this, and my client is incorporating this immediately in their process. So this is the thing where you say it's 5 years or 3 years, big businesses have to catch up. It's because we're instituting like real time, like we're creating it and we're improving it right now because we're doing it generally on a smaller scale,
Right.
and we're more able to make the changes. So we're really like the pioneers in what's to come. That's why I always want to ask you, okay, what's the future of whatever it is we're talking about? Because I know that you're out there, you're collecting information, and you're making some of those real conclusions on what's going on.
But I'll say this, though. So, again, it's not a value statement saying that large companies are 3 to 5 years behind small businesses on the adoption of a lot of this stuff. Because, again, as you said, they have a lot of internal bureaucracy to go through, rules. Some of them have a lot of regulations they have to deal with, et cetera. But at the same time, they're really going to have to start being a bit more agile, for sure.
Right.
Because people expect this.
Right.
What they're getting outside of the business, they expect inside the business, whether they're interacting with that business as an employee or a consumer. And they expect a seamless experience, like in between. So if I'm at home using Twitter, I want to be able to go into the office and use Twitter as well.
And, you know, it's very interesting that you mentioned that, because when I was at Bloomberg, that was the most astounding thing about being at Bloomberg, as how agile they were, how quickly they were able to incorporate a new idea and take that. The organization was not an organization necessarily with many levels. It was kind of a more flat organization, which made it much easier to get decisions made. So when you have, and you know, when we talk about Branson, I know that that's also another attribute of that organization, is that it's much easier to make something happen. So in looking at that, then it would be at, say, like, you know, one of the big older companies like 3M or something like that.
Well, so I think the point there is that it's not impossible, right? I mean, I saw last night across multiple media networks where the presidential debate gets done, and they already have the whole thing, you know, cut up into little sound bites so that they can do the analysis. Like they've done Twitter analysis.
Yeah, but they've been doing that stuff for years.
Yeah, I know. Well, what I'm saying is, though, is that still these companies are really big. But even when something new comes along like Twitter, so I don't know about all the stations. I watched a lot of CNN myself, which might show my bias there. But I mean, they were using Twitter pretty early on in terms of big companies using Twitter, you know, Facebook, incorporating social media into it at all levels, the blog, I mean, all of it, right? So media companies are versed in doing this.
Well, let's hope so.
It's just other companies just aren't.
All right, well, you know what? We have to wrap up for today.
Right.
Again, I have so many questions still. So thank you so much. Our guest today was Robert Dempsey, and I invite you to stop back again. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned.
Bye-bye. Hey, I'm Robert Dempsey with your tips from the net. And today I want to tell you what content marketing is. At the risk of insulting your intelligence, if you already know what it is, a lot of people are confused about what content marketing means exactly. And so I want to give you the definition. And it comes down to a few things, but really the core concept is creating and sharing content to acquire and engage potential and current clients. So that's the big definition there, but really the idea behind it is that by delivering information to both current and potential clients, you can increase the revenue in your business. So that begs the question, what is content? And content, very simply, it's videos, audios, it's text, and it's also a variety of images. So a lot of companies are putting out these things called infographics, which a lot of people love to share, which takes a bunch of information, puts it into kind of some charty goodness, puts it in a nice image, and people love to share that stuff on social media. But this doesn't only include online content, it includes online and offline content. So things like direct mail, advertising. If you've seen I believe they're called an advertorial. So you might see a 4-page spread in a magazine. And at first it looks like a standard article, but at the end you actually see that, oh no, it's actually an advertisement. But that is also content marketing. Now this concept has been around for a very, very long time. As long as catalog Catalogs have been out as long as direct mail has been sent. This idea has been out there, but a lot of companies are using it. A lot of companies are using it to great effect, and I highly suggest that you use it for your company too. So that, in a nutshell, is content marketing. I am Robert Dempsey, and I will see you on the next Tips from the Net.